Okay, I'm going to have a really short stream today. So I'm just going to quickly analyze some of the basics and then try and figure out if anything's changed. This is the order flow since we had a little bit of strength yesterday. That was quite interesting. I saw it happening and I did take a long, and basically what you want to see happened. We had the price increase, we had increasing OI. See that? Increasing prices, increasing OI. Decreasing prices, reducing OI, that's take profits. Increasing prices, increasing OI. Increasing prices, increasing OI. Effectively, that's what you want to see for strength. You want to see increasing prices, increasing open interest. We had a little bit of bearish CVD at the highs there. I think that's played out already. And now at the lows, we're getting a little bit of bullish CVD, a little bit, not too much, but a little bit. Lower low here, higher low there. Effectively, what's happening is that we're range bound at the moment around daily open at the weekly level. It looks like we're forming some kind of pennant, and it looks like the price is being sold at the highs, bought at the lows, vice versa. So this is a consolidation pattern that's forming right now, and it looks bullish to me, but you know, with these patterns, it could break either way. No one really knows how it's going to break. For me, it looks bullish. It looks like consolidation underneath support, resistance, which in my mind is bullish. I think looking at the way the price moved yesterday, if we wanted to see a rejection, we should have seen it by now from this move to the upside. And you see here, the neckline was able to hold. So again, that's what I was saying. You just can't be bearish, you can't be bullish, you just have to see what happens and take it as it comes. Yeah. So while yesterday morning I was a little bit bearish, and the price did go down, or was trying to go down, you can clearly see that you can't short the lows. Mistake, it's always a mistake to short the lows. Even if you're bearish, it's a mistake to short the lows. Because of exactly this reason. You could get a reversal quite easily, and it happens a lot with Bitcoin. People get bearish, they short, and the price reverses. If people are bearish and they want to short, well, now is the time to short because we're back into resistance. Yeah. So effectively what you're trying to do is you're trying to minimize risk, and by doing that you have to short at resistance and long and support. Okay, that will minimize, that will save you a lot of hassle in the future if you continue with that idea. Good morning, David. Long on support, short on resistance. Most of the time you'll get yourself out of trouble if you avoid shorting support and long resistance. Gary, how's it go? Again, like crypto, Bitcoin, no one really knows what's going to happen. And this is the point. No one really knows. Like whoever says they know has no idea. People say they know and they always make mistakes. And that's one way to attract a following, by making out like you know. I think the most important thing for all of us is to acknowledge that we have no idea. And so the best thing to do is to try and identify up and down and see what happens. Okay. When I was looking at the charts yesterday, I knew I wasn't going to sell short lower down because we had this trend line which I was following, and I didn't want to short. I didn't want to long, sorry, below this trend line. And so effectively, if you remember, it was, what was it? It was something like this. Was it that? No. What was it? Can't remember now. It wasn't that. It was this. I deleted it already. Yeah, it was that. So I could see that the price was trying to go down. There's no, I mean, even though it might have been a good long, the problem is that you've lost support. Yeah. when you're losing support, it's a flip, it's a coin flip, it's a gamble. Yeah, some people play their cards and they make good wins, but you have to have really good risk management. They have a different kind of trading style. Okay, and effectively what the SFP here was the entry. Most people will take their profits when they take an SFP. It so happened that there was a little bit of sign of strength, and that's what I was looking for. I was looking for a sign of strength. We saw it yesterday, and that's okay. You know, it's not a big deal to wait to see a sign of strength. Once you see the strength, you can enter. So yesterday, after we saw the sign of strength, I took a long and I took my profit, and now we're trying to see what happens. We're back at the neckline of the head and shoulders pattern. There, if I can draw properly, which I can't. I think that's bullish. I think what we're experiencing now is a bullish reversal, simply because we're back at the neckline. Yeah, it's very weird for us to be back at the neckline so quickly. And as you can see of the price has pierced the neckline already 2 times, trying to get above it. I can see that the price is trying to go up. It's not, you can see it's trying to go up now. It doesn't feel like we're getting a rejection here. It looks like we're getting a rejection, but it doesn't feel like it, because I can see here the price is clearly trying to go up. And I think if this was now bearish, if you think about bearishness, it should have gone down by now. We should have clearly seen a nice rejection and we should be heading down. And basically after we broke this, came back above this trend line, we had a little back test on the neckline here, this candle here, this 2-hour candle. You can see how a little back test on the neckline and the price was bought up. So exactly what you want to see. You see a little sign of strength, first back test, first pullback, you can buy that. And that's really what happened yesterday. We're now into resistance. It's still, the price still needs to get above the weekly level. And that's something to bear in mind. So yesterday evening, I did a quick video update looking for strength. And effectively, I said, well, what I really want to see is this weekly level reclaimed. And you can see that the weekly level is offering a little bit of resistance right now. I do feel like we're going to go up. Okay. The reason why I feel that way is because I can see that we're forming some poor highs every time we go up. These are poor highs, and we're not getting the kind of rejection that would require us to go down, which would be some kind of wick down, an immediate sell-off to the downside. So I do feel like we're going to go up. It's again, it's a coin flip, isn't it? No one really knows. We are forming some kind of triangle here, some kind of pennant, and I think I'm actually in the long right now with a slightly wider invalidation. I've already taken profit from an earlier long, and again, that's the thing, you bearish and then suddenly you're longing. What the hell? Welcome to crypto. That's how it is. Like, and I think once people realize that that's how it is, it saves them a lot of headache, because they understand that even though they have an idea or a bias, as long as you're prepared to quickly change if the circumstances change. The hard part in it is knowing when to change your bias, and that's why it's good to game theory up and down, and then it becomes a lot easier to change bias. And so a lot of people only contemplate up, or a lot of people only contemplate down. It's good to contemplate both, and then if there's a change, you can quickly react to that rather than be frozen. So right now we're forming some kind of consolidation pattern underneath resistance. The big resistance is the neckline of this head and shoulders pattern. I think for all intents purposes, if we get back into this value area of this range here, so we just have to get back into there. We're almost there. We need to get acceptance back over that weekly level. I think that's extremely bullish. To experience this would be extremely bullish. I don't know if we're going to go there all of a sudden just like that. And I think as New York opens, it is possible to go down first for liquidity take out liquidity from these lows to go up. That would make perfect sense in the context of the way the New York market opens. They like to take liquidity before they move in the direction of travel. That would still be okay, because when I'm looking at the structure, I see that this is the low, this is the higher low here. So even if we were to take the local lows of this local value area, a swing failure back up would be perfectly acceptable. And then obviously back test of the weekly to push up would be ideal, would be preferred. And so effectively what you're doing is you're clearing the liquidity from the lows, you're trapping a few shorts, and then you're squeezing the shorts up to get back into this range. And that would be really amazing to experience that, because maybe then we can try and attack that high. What we really need to do, the bulls need to do, is they need to take out that high. Taking out that high would be a confirmation of market structure change on the medium time frame, the 4-hour time frame. That's the high to take out. It might not happen in one go, just quite simply because in this previous range here, you have a point of control here and the value area high. It might offer a little bit of resistance, but to be honest with you, I think if we get a reclaim of that weekly level, you're going to see a pylon. I think it would make perfect sense for a lot of hefty longs to long, because a lot of people wait until levels flip, and a weekly level is a big level. Yeah, so if you can flip that weekly level into support, I think you're going to get a lot of people just market long and push the price up. That's probably what will happen when people see that that level's been flipped, especially if you experience some kind of swing failure of the local lows. Okay, that for me is really what needs to happen as soon as possible. I think we need to go up. Yeah, now that we're starting to go up, let's go up. Let's not dilly-dally around here for a long period of time, because the longer that we consolidate here, it's bullish. Consolidation on these resistance is bullish, but also longs could start closing. They could start losing patience and they could start closing, and then you could actually start seeing, you know, what you don't want to see, like a rounding top. You don't want to see that either. Yeah, so really you want to just do whatever needs to happen and go up. I think that would be the best case scenario for the longs. And then obviously if we do start seeing a little bit of rejection, the first rejection that I would be thinking about is to make a market structure change. I think taking out this low is going to be the first step. So not swing failure here. Take out that low. Come back up to find resistance. Can't get back into this local range. Can't get back in. And confirm the change with another low. Yeah. I think once you see that, then it will look like we've had a little rejection from the weekly level. We're looking for lower. And naturally, you want to go as low as possible. Now, doesn't mean it's bearish. We've come back above this trend line, so that's what I wanted to see. But maybe then we're just correcting, we're going down for another pass, pick up more liquidity for another attack at the highs. I think this is bullish now, but it doesn't mean we can't go down for liquidity. It doesn't mean we can't go down to clean up all of this expansion here. You see, there's a bit of volume gaps that have created here underneath here. And so just because you're bullish, it doesn't mean the price can't go down to clear up these volume gaps. This is what would have to happen first, and then you'll be basically looking for longs further down. Yeah, so I'll be looking for longs actually now that I've seen this. I'll be looking for longs unless we take out this pivot. Yeah, that's not why I don't want to see that pivot taken out now that the pivot's been put in. I don't think that would look good. I think it would look really bad to go right down here. Again, it's a problem, isn't it? Because you take out a pivot, it's like this, isn't it? It's like this. You go down, you take out the pivot, and you go up. You know, could this be a higher time frame version of that? Of course, it could be. It could be. But rather than try and catch that, I'd rather just wait for at least the level slightly higher that we've lost to reclaim before I long. Like, I wouldn't just catch that. I'd wait for that to long, if that was to happen, if we take out that pivot, just in case the price does take out that pivot and find resistance to go down. You know, like that's why I would be worried about if you make a new low, because you're also losing an important level. There's no reason why we don't go down and reclaim the daily level. That happened before. So when you look at the previous price action, where was it? Here. You see this candle here? It's very similar. This is not, I think we're in a stronger position, to be honest with you, than this candle here. You see you have this red candle, then this green candle comes up. You have this red candle, this green candle comes up. You create this daily level here at the base. So we have a brand new fresh daily level. We've got two brand new daily levels, this one here and this one here. That's kind of starting to look really bullish now by creating these levels of support. Yeah, that's really, now we're starting, now this market structure is starting to take shape after so much bearishness in this whole price range. Clearing all of the liquidity with these wicks, clearing all of these levels and trading through all of these liquidity levels. Now we've actually, the bulls have managed to create two brand new levels, you know. I think that's pretty bullish. That's, you know, that's not easy to do. And the fact that that's happened, I think it's a really good sign. It doesn't mean the price can't go back down to take liquidity from these levels, but it is now starting to look more bullish. Yeah, because that's kind of what you expect to see. You start to, when the bulls are making new levels, it means the price is being brought up and reversed. Yeah, so here the price has come down, it's reversed, it's created a new liquidity level. The price has come back down, it's been brought up, it's creating a new liquidity level. Okay, and so that's a sign of bullishness when you see that happening. And when you see the price is unable to get back down to take the liquidity, it just keeps on ascending. It just shows that actually, yeah, maybe the bulls are in control. Yeah, so even though it might look bearish, maybe actually the bulls are in control and they're controlling the structure and the way the candles are being painted, the way the candles are being printed. I'm not bearish today. We haven't taken the liquidity from the previous day high, so therefore I'm not bearish. Yeah, we've got this massive expanding green candle. That's what I want to see. I like that. I like that candle. You see here that candle closed higher than the previous day high, if I can draw a line correctly. It's a weak close, but it is a higher close. So we've had a higher close, you know. That's what you want to see. You want to see the price close higher. We haven't taken the liquidity from the high, and now we're just consolidating underneath the weekly level. If the bears want to reverse the price, they should do it now. Yeah, it has to come down now. If the bears want to take control, they have to do it now. And so at the moment, to me, it looks like if we end up with a red candle, it still looks like the bulls are in control, and then the bulls are going to have to take over. If it's not today, it's going to have to be tomorrow. I think I'd be okay with this today's candle as long as we don't close under 50% of this body. I think I'd still be okay with this candle. I just don't want to see a close. Basically, I don't really want to see a close underneath this dividing line there. So if we do go down, I don't want to close underneath there. I think if that happens, then you could see a nice buy up over the weekend potentially, and no one really knows what's going to happen. No one can predict that. If we do end up with a red doji here, again, we need to see a buy up. We can't just have lingering dojis here, because that could reverse quite easily into resistance. Lingering dojis aren't the best. I think I'll be more bearish. I'd be bearish or potentially bearish if we took out the high, which we haven't done yet. So because we haven't taken out the high, I'm actually thinking bullish right now. That's kind of where I'm at. But again, this is the problem. You're bullish and the price goes down. You're bearish, the price goes up. And so it's not always good to be overly bullish or overly bearish. You just have to play it locally and see what happens. At the moment, it's looking bullish. Okay. The reason why I'm a little bit bullish right now is partly because of the order flow, partly because of my indicators. Let me show you what I'm seeing. Hold on. You see on the 15-minute, I use the CCI quite a lot, and on the 15-minute CCI, you can see the CCI is all the way down to minus 100, and you see how the price is basically still in the same level, still in the same range. So I can see that there's hidden bullish divergence on my indicator. That's giving me kind of bullish vibes. And then the other thing that I'm seeing on the order flow is I'm seeing not currently, because currently you can see bearishness. At the moment, this is quite bearish. You're seeing bearish order flow here. Higher highs on the CVD, lower highs on the CVD. So in the local time frame, we're very bearish. But overall, you see the CVD's been going down and the price has kind of been the lows have been going up. And the other thing I wanted to see, which I'm starting to see again, is that as the price ascends, we're getting increasing in open interest. Yeah, you see where the price ascends, you see the open interest is going up. What does that mean? The meaning is very easy and obvious. It means that large players are buying at market, pushing the price up. Yeah. And the reason why these people do that is because, one, they're filling their large bags at market, they can't get filled, and two, they're pushing the price up, so they're bullish, they want the price to go up. Yeah. And so naturally they're buying at market, they're pushing the price up, and these are people leverage longing, and that is a bullish. To see that behavior is bullish. In the same way it's bearish to see the OI coming down and the price coming down. It's bullish to see the price going up and the OI going up. What's also interesting, and this is something to bear in mind, is that I think there's a shit ton of shorts that haven't liquidated overall over the last few weeks. I don't see many short liquidation bubbles, not that many. So I think we could potentially see a really crazy short squeeze if we're able to take out those highs. And that's something that once that happens, you're going to see a massive pylon. So even though locally right now we're getting a little bit of bearish CVD, that could be leading. And at the moment, the market structure is bullish locally. I'd want to see that change my opinion on what's going on here. So at the moment, it's bullish market structure underneath resistance. For me, it's consolidation underneath resistance. The other thing that I've been looking at, and obviously just to this is the thing. I've been talking about Elliott waves. It's Elliott waves are really difficult. I don't know if anyone has experience with them. Anyone who says they're easy is either God or an idiot or a liar. one of the three. I think it's ridiculous to say Elliott waves are easy, because it's quite dynamic. The way you have to always update your Elliott waves. To be fair, I was expecting a C at B, and I was contemplating much further. Now I'm thinking, well, if it's over, is it over here? I still don't know. Let's be honest, I have no idea. It's really bizarre because I think this WXY is a little bit short, and I don't want to say it because I don't want to jinx it, but I think we need to come down one more time, and I don't know how this is going to play out. Okay, I don't want to jinx it. Yeah, and I don't want to say that we're going to go down because I don't know. I really don't know. But I do feel based on fib time, if we are to put in a pivot, it should be here sometime in Monday or Tuesday. That would perfectly align with this move. And I'm quite superstitious when it comes to fib time. So I'm a bit hesitant as well because I don't know, but I am a bit superstitious about that. That being said, the price has come in kind of to the 618. It would either be the 618 or the 1-to-1. The 1-to-1 would take us all the way down to here by Monday. Yeah, all the way down to 58k by Monday. I don't know. I can't tell you that's going to happen. I just have no idea. This would be perfect symmetry for this WXY and fib time. Yeah. But again, it's I can't say this is going to happen because Bitcoin is Bitcoin and Bitcoin can do crazy things. And if it's crazy manipulated, maybe that level has been front run and maybe the time has been front run too. Could that be could this be the end? The only way we'll know if this is the end, if we really see an impulse out of this whole area. And this is what we're looking for. We're looking to see if we impulse out. I think it's very likely if we are able to get above there that we will break out. And then you could argue correction is over and correction came a little bit earlier. I think that would be the end, if we were able to do that. But if the correction isn't over, then the only other alternative that I'm thinking about would be something like this. Something like that. So that's actually an A, B, C. So you have your A, B, C, and then in the C you have another A, B, C, and we're actually just in the B of the last corrective wave, which is the C, to come and complete the WXY, which would pretty much end. I mean, no one really knows where, but in terms of fib time, I have it ending somewhere in between Monday and Tuesday. So I really I'm a bit baffled as to the timings at the moment. And for me, this is perfect symmetry, and that would make sense. But this is Bitcoin, isn't it? And so sometimes you think to yourself, you know, maybe Bitcoin is doing something a little bit different. Maybe the market is being more manipulative than normal. Yeah, I don't know. What is going to be evident though, whatever happens here, it's going to be bullish. Yeah, it's going to be bullish for many reasons, but the most important reason is that this is going to be the end of the WXY. This is going to be the end of this ABC or whatever, higher time frame ABC. And also it's going to be the beginning of the next, either it's going to be the beginning of the next A or the beginning of the wave 1. So for all intents and purposes, this next segment that we're about to experience should be a bullish segment. Yeah, just simply because bears and bulls are going to be buying at the same time. So it doesn't really matter how far the price comes down. in terms of the sequence, in terms of the way the price moves, the next section we're about to experience is going to be a very bullish section, just because in terms of the way the waves are going, it coincides with buying, bulls and bears buying at the same time. So I don't know if we're in it now, or we're just experiencing a B for another push to form the C. I don't know. That would make sense to me, but I can't predict that. Let's just say hypothetically this is the end, then this section should be the most bullish one. So now what we're expecting is bullishness. We have to see it. I want to see it. If I don't see it by this weekend, then I'll be thinking down again. Yeah. If we go up and I'm not seeing what I want to see, then I'll be thinking down, because I know this next section has to be bullish, because it means the bears and bulls are both buying. Both sets of people will be buying. The bears will be buying the A, and the bulls will be buying the 1. So you have an alignment of interests at this last point, wherever it lands. Now, if it's now, then I'm going to be expecting up. And we should break this. Was it a inverse head and shoulders, as was suggested in my morning stream yesterday? I mean, it's starting to look like it, right? To be fair. Is it a rounding bottom? Could be. I like to think it's more of a rounding bottom than an inverse head and shoulders, just simply because with an inverse head and shoulders, you really want to actually put in, you really want to take out the neckline first with a higher high there before you put in the right shoulder. Usually the right shoulder is a smaller shoulder because it's quite a bullish pattern, and that's because you put in a higher high in the neckline, and so therefore people buy the big dip, and actually they keep the price up. So these ones where you have much deeper corrections, I like to think that they're more like rounding bottoms than head and shoulders patterns, just simply because the neckline is more of a descending neckline and less of the kind of neckline that you would expect with a head and shoulders pattern. Doesn't really matter, it's all the same. So this is kind of where I'm at. Again, it's all speculative. No one really knows what's going to happen, and obviously what I've been looking at with you guys has been looking at Slurf. Slurf has been leading, except yesterday it wasn't leading, interestingly enough, and then arguably it was leading because David yesterday was saying to me Slurf looks actually quite strong at the lows, and it rejected from the daily level. I think that's where you took your short, Gary. I hope you didn't lose any money. I hope you just got stopped out at break even there. Oops. Again, what's interesting about the price action yesterday on Slurf was that you had this, it's almost like 3 drives. It's almost like a 3 drives pattern on Slurf. Yeah. With an SFP there. And then you see how the price came above the daily level, and there was no back test. That was extremely bullish, explosive price action. Hard to catch it when there's no back test. Very hard. And what you can see here, just for future note, you can see how the price was unable to come back into this initial explosive candle, and then it was bought up. Okay. Now we're seeing a little bit of a pullback. Usually Slurf is leading, but I'm not seeing the kind of pullback that's making me feel bearish. I'm seeing more of a flag at the moment, and the flags look quite bearish because you're making lower lows, lower highs. In terms of market structure, we are in, according to this, we're in bearish market structure. We've put in a higher high, lower low, lower high, lower low. So at the moment we're in bearish market structure, but it's a very different bearish market pattern that's forming to different ones, to previous ones. You see, previously when we're in bearish market structure, look, you can clearly see lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high. Look, it's just moving. The price is moving. And actually what's happened, David showed this to me what we're doing is we're having lots of little SR flips, SR flip, SR flip, lots of SR flips on the move down. Yeah, lower highs and the price was just dropping down like a ton of bricks in the ocean. What we're experiencing now, very different. Different is good. This is bearish too, but it's more like a flag. It looks like a flag. You're making lower highs, you're making lower lows, and what you want to see, again, don't be mistaken that flags can't break to the downside. You can get every pattern can be invalidated. Every single pattern can fail. Yeah. So while people are looking at this and they're feeling bullish, and I'm feeling bullish too because I'm seeing a flag, I'm seeing a bullish consolidation pattern after a move up. I'm also aware that this can also fail. Okay, everything is possible. Not always probable, but everything is possible. And so naturally, I just want this idea to continue until we do actually end up breaking up. That's what I want to see. Maybe it will be a sweep of the lows before we break up, but that's what you want to see. Maybe the pattern has to, maybe the price has to consolidate all the way back into this value area. Yeah, I don't know what's going to happen. But what I don't want to see is for us to lose this daily level again. Okay, I don't really want to see that. And looking at the price, the candles, there's a brand new daily level. Again, this is the same thing. Like when the bulls are managing to create these daily levels, that's really quite bullish because you're creating liquidity levels. So naturally, if someone wants to put a large order, they've got these really nice juicy levels that they can place their orders on. Most people who are large players, they won't just put one order at the daily level. What they usually will do is they'll ladder in on spot, and to do that, what you have to do is you have to first work out the range. So I usually just do fibs on the daily body, not the wicks, the body. That's the fib. And then also I'll also do some kind of volume pool on the previous day as well. Okay, just to see the volume of the previous day and just to see the range of the previous day. That didn't work. Let me do it from there. Just on the previous day, from 0 to 0. Oh, actually, yeah. So that's the range and that's the volume of the previous day. And so looking at the fibs, this is just the body, yeah. So when it comes to fibs on the previous day, I only do the body. And here you can see that up till now, the 236 has been holding a support. And we're just about to lose the 236 now. But the 382 is holding a support. You can see here on Slurf, the 382 is holding a support. I think I'll be okay all the way down to the 50% mark. Yeah. I think for me, that would be perfectly acceptable for the price to come all the way down to the 50% mark to go up. The minute you start going lower, the minute it becomes more difficult. It's easy if you're trading because a trader will enter at the golden pocket or even lower at this 786, which happens to be an SR flip, and they'll just quickly take their profit. They don't mind, okay? Because for traders, for intraday traders or scalpers, the best risk to reward will be at the golden pocket. And so, but those kinds of people are trading, so they'll take their profit. And so if you go that low, you get traders involved, but then they will also take their profit. Okay, when you're looking at higher time frame investors and stuff, higher time frame traders, they don't really want to see the price go down that deep. They want to see bullish continuation, and so naturally they'll be looking for as light a correction as possible. They won't be looking for a deep correction, and I think 50% is as far as most people want it to go. If you do go down, you want it to get back up really quickly, you know, and just it have to be a snap back up. But anyway, and you can see here actually looking at this, the golden pocket is the best area to buy. So it is, I mean, I think it is possible to go all the way down to the golden pocket. I just think it's a hard one, but I think look at this, the golden pocket, you've got the value area high. You've got the problem is you've got this SR flip, which is lower down. So effectively, the best entry for Slurf is something like that. But you kind of want these fibs to hold, you want this 50% to hold. However it holds, and you want it to go up. You don't want to lose this idea of a flag. You want to keep that idea, and you don't want it to go on for too long either. You want it to kind of break up. So obviously this is following Bitcoin. I think it's quite bullish right now. I mean, it's really weird because yesterday I was a bit bearish, and now look at this. Look, it's looking bullish. Had the rejection from the lows. We had a bit of a buy up, and now we're lightly consolidating, possibly looking, decreasing volume, possibly looking to go up. And we just have to see what happens. Like, I think the most important thing is that we don't lose these lower levels. I don't think I want to see us come back down into underneath this daily level. And again, it's the same thing that I was saying yesterday. I won't mess up. I won't entertain. I won't buy here for the long hold. It will just be scalping. But if you do lose the daily level, I'm not going to be longing for the long hold. I'd want to see the price get back above the daily level first, yeah? And so you could get a situation where the price does fall down just for looking for liquidity, just to continue going up. You have this daily level here. You have a new daily level now. Did I not mark it? There it is. So you have this previous daily level. You have this brand new daily level. This daily level, the previous one, corresponds with the 786. There's a lot of support here now. And we just have to see where the price finally finds support. Right now, it's looking like it's finding support on the 382, right? But you just don't want the price now to do this. You just don't want that to happen. You just don't want to lose that level, really. You just don't want to lose levels now. So if you start seeing that, losing the golden pocket, I think that will be the first signal of weakness. Yeah, when you're looking for weakness now, getting back into the golden pocket, losing this level here, back into the range. This is going to be very weak. If you start to see that, be very aware that this is starting to look weak again. So try not to stay like, try not to be overly bullish. If you start seeing weakness, just wait for strength to return. Okay, I think that's the safest strategy is wait for strength. When you see strength, you keep on looking for strength, and if you keep on looking for weakness, you'll get so accustomed to seeing it that you won't hesitate when you see it. When you see strength, you'll be that strong, and you'll buy, and you won't get the best entry, but you'll catch the move, as long as you're not hesitating when you see strength. When you see weakness, it's the same thing. You see weakness and you don't hesitate and you sell, then you might not get the best entry, but at least you're catching the move, and you're just allowing the market to carry you. It's good when that happens, because then you can quickly set your position to break even and it's never a loss. Okay, so in this situation it's different, because we have seen strength and now people are trying to buy the pullback, and so you know full well that with the pullback you're buying into lower prices coming down, so you're buying into that. So naturally there's a situation where some people might be underwater temporarily, but what they're expecting is continuation. Yeah, so if you're a bull in this situation, you're expecting eventually the price to continue. Yeah, that's what you want to see. And that what you don't want to see is to suddenly see the price fall back into this lower range, fall back underneath the daily levels, not find support. There's going to be something drastically wrong if that happens, and you don't want to be, we don't really want to participate in that and have longs open. You may not short, but you definitely don't want to have a long open if you start seeing weakness. Okay, and it'll be very difficult to short now, where we are now, because we're at the bottom of this mini range. If you want to short, really it's the top of this mini range is the place to short. And that, I think those opportunities have already passed now. So kind of right now where we are, it's very difficult to short to. So we're in a situation where you wouldn't necessarily short, you'd basically be longing for continuation, but then your invalidation is very clear. Your price falls back into this range, falls back into this daily level, doesn't find support. There's a very bad reaction, there's a poor reaction. Effectively, the only reason there'd be a poor reaction is people are selling, and the only reason people would be selling if they suddenly see massive weakness on Bitcoin, and I'm not seeing that here. I'm seeing a reaccumulation pattern, which is a flag for me. So for all intents and purposes, Slurf is looking really good, to be honest with you, and I wouldn't be surprised if we break out from this trend line quite soon and head up to that daily level there. I really wouldn't be surprised. I think that's what needs to happen, and I wouldn't be surprised if it happens. Okay, if it doesn't happen, I'll be more surprised. So this whole thing right now is looking good, and unless there's some crazy shit going on with Bitcoin later on today or tomorrow or whenever, over the weekend, you never know, then I'm expecting this to go up now. Yeah, why wouldn't it? It doesn't look like it should go down. It looks like it now. It needs to go up. Go all the way back up into this, at the very least, to try and test this. I'm not saying it needs to go all the way up, but at the very least, break and try and get back in. I don't know how that's going to play out, but it needs to try and get back in, huh? And that's what you want to see. And the good thing about Slurf is if people start seeing a little bit of strength, they're going to start piling in as well. And that will be good to see as well. So let's see how that plays out. Of course, if people are just buying spot, they may want to just take a stab out of these daily levels, which I've marked. If they're not worried about whether the price goes down or not, then these daily levels are perfectly good places to buy Slurf on spot. Yeah. Is this going to now go up and never come back down? Again, I have no idea. No one really knows what's going to happen. Could this reverse now and continue going down? Of course it could. That's the other thing. Like, we form a red candle today. Tomorrow could be another red candle. And guess what? By the weekend, we're back at the bottom. Yeah, very possible for that to happen. And so therefore, I really want the price to move, to go up. I don't really want a red candle. Honestly, I don't. It wouldn't suit me, because tomorrow then you can see another red candle, and then you're starting to droop, and then you can have the price fall right back to the bottom again, and then that whole structure is going to start looking bearish again. Yeah, and so realistically, what I would like to see is a buy up and for this to be have a nice push up all the way up with a nice green candle all the way up. So this whole thing becomes a reversal structure. Reversal here, and then push up to the point of control. That would be really good to see. And once that happens, it means the rest of the market is pumping. If we start seeing that, it means everything is looking good. All right. I think it'd be very strange for us not to break this line, because we've come back to it so many times. How many times? Once at the top, 2, 3. It doesn't have to break. So that's the other thing you need to be aware of. And just be aware of this. Swing failure. Yeah. That's also possible. So just be aware of that. That would be actually a good place to short if you see that. See a swing failure of the highs into this trend line, rejection of the 50% mark here. And the thing about short there, you have an invalidation, and as long as your invalidation is very clear, it's a risk. The risk to reward is worthwhile, and of course the price could go up, but that would be you wouldn't just enter a short there. You'd wait for a swing failure. So you wait for the price to go up and then come back down. As soon as it comes back down below these pivots, then you can enter a short, and you have a really easy invalidation. It will be that same pivot that's been put in. So if the price does come back down and for some reason it goes up, you're invalidated, you're out of the trade. You wouldn't expect that. But if you do see a swing failure here, then that would be a pretty good short. So when I was talking about shorts, terrible idea to short the lows, but here, if you see that, you could take a stab out of that. That's not a problem. It'd be a lower probability than hitting this trend line for the 3rd time. The 4th time usually breaks, but you never know, huh? You're not just hitting a trend line here, you're also hitting a 50% mark, and you're waiting for a swing failure, which indicates some big take profits, which means that if people are taking profit, they're not looking for higher, which would also mean that it could be a good place to short. So just be aware of a potential rejection here. I think that would coincide with Bitcoin. So if we're about to see a rejection here, for sure we're going to see a rejection on Bitcoin. Yeah. And potentially it could look very similar. Yeah. So while I'm contemplating up, you see we're up above the weekly level at the moment, which is good to see. But what if we go up now, reject, come back underneath this pivot, and fall back underneath the weekly level to go back down? There would be some kind of confluence between what Slurf is doing and Bitcoin is doing, and it would look very similar at the same time, potentially. And you can look at each other for confirmation to see what's going on. I think I wouldn't mind to see this happen, as long as we come back down and hold this weekly level as support. If you see that happen and you see we're losing the weekly level all of a sudden, I think then I'll be very concerned, and maybe then I'll be thinking, okay, maybe then we need to actually go down to attack the lows one more time, and maybe then my idea of maybe a little bit more of a prolonged C with potentially some kind of A, B, C like this, more realistic, more probable. So I am bearing all of this in mind, and I'm just trying to see how it goes. I think this is actually quite possible, like thinking about it. It would look really nice to form that, and it would be very balanced to form that. It's effectively you're forming this kind of A, B, C, D pattern, aren't you? Something like that. Effectively. So naturally, if you're long, you are going to take profit. at the point of control up there in the value area high, where these lines are 64k, that might be a lower high. It would be bullish because we're back in the range, really bullish. But then you potentially, if you get a rejection there, you have to hold the weekly level. If you don't hold the weekly level and you lose it after you have a rejection there, then you're going to get shorts start piling in again. You lose the weekly level after you reclaim it. Again, it's going to strength back to weakness. Yeah, strength will be reclaiming that level, that range, but you have to now hold the value area low as support, which is also the weekly level. It makes no sense to reclaim a range and not be able to hold the bottom of the range as support. So danger base. Thank you. All right, I know you're mocking me. That's fine, I don't mind. At least you're here. I'm happy to have you. Thank you for your turbo bearish TA yesterday. It was a perfect fuel for a bounce. Well, look, as I said yesterday, I'm not looking to catch a falling knife or buy weakness. I was waiting for strength. Okay, as soon as I saw strength, I bought. So it doesn't, like, for me, it doesn't matter if I'm going to buy here or here. I was just waiting for strength. That's all. I wasn't too fussed. Like, for some people, they want to catch the absolute bottom. Yeah, fine, I'm okay with that. If that's what you want to do, that's your business. It's not my business. I'm not telling people what to do. And also, when I was chatting about strength, I did say, I said I want to reclaim the daily level. We've lost the daily level. Let's reclaim it. Yeah, we've lost that trend line. Let's get back above it. That's all I said, really. I wasn't really, I was bearish until we started showing strength. Really, that's what it comes down to. Where was the trend line? There. I'm bearish until we reclaim. We'll start reclaiming levels. I became bullish again. So now, while in hindsight everything is clear, there's no reason to think the price couldn't have just gone down. Who knows? No one really knows what the price is going to do. And so in my mind, I'm just trying to be safe. That's all. That's all. I'm just trying to be safe. I'm just trying to make sure people are safe. There's no point in me saying it's bullish, people buying here, and then the price drops and they think, why did he say it was bullish when it was actually bearish? Yeah, I was saying it's bearish, but if we see strength, then everything changes, and that's what I want to see. I want to see strength. Now, the problem is a lot of people are like, well, I missed the move. The reality is, if this is it, if this is now the beginning of the end of the correction, how have you missed the move? We're at the beginning. Yeah, like, this is what I don't understand. And again, I'm a bit hesitant on this being the move. I know you're saying 78k. And I'm with you, dude. I've got a large spot bag on altcoins. I want to go up to 78k up here. I want to go higher. Yeah, I'll be more than happy for that to happen. We'll be all rich together, you know, because I'm not touching those spot bags. And it just means everyone is going to be very well. But at the same time, right now, I'm wondering if we go down. You see, this is the thing. Like, I'm wondering if the correction is over right now. People get bullish and the price goes down. People get bearish and the price goes up. And no one really knows when the correction is going to end. But what I'm looking at in terms of fib time is the correction continuing a little bit longer. That's all. And I'm just basing it on fib time. Okay. So I've been trying to be as objective as possible. No one really knows the future. So it's just all speculative. But looking at this WXY, A, B, C, A, B, C, A, B, we're in the C. That's your WXY, which is a combination of three ABCs. So we're in the Y now. And so if we zoom in on the Y, and focus in on the Y, which is here, then we're at the C, A, B, C, and usually C's have 3 waves, another A, B, C. Could this be an A, B, C? That's all I'm saying. Could it be, could we be just, could this be, could we be gearing up to go down again? And I have that on my mind. And the other thing that I have in my mind is fib time. So when you do it from the WXY, sorry, the WYX, whatever, X, whatever it's called, yeah, the WX, from the 0 to the WX, you see in the 618 landed on the B, and I'm looking for to see if the 1-to-1, which would be a perfect symmetry of this WXY, would come somewhere on Monday or Tuesday, somewhere here, with another move to the downside. You see, this is what I'm thinking of, okay? So it's not bearish. I'm just trying to see how the correction is going to play out. This is actually quite bullish now, looking at it. This is quite bullish. Why? Because we're back above that trend line. Maybe this doesn't go all the way down there. Maybe it's just to take out the low here that was put in. Maybe just to take out that low. And maybe now the weekend we kind of go sideways to make one more attack to spring out of that. Effectively, that's what you want. You want a crazy impulse. And so if people now start seeing this is going to look really bearish, isn't it? This is going to look really bearish. But actually all you're doing is completing a corrective pattern, an ABC, on a wider, higher time frame ABC, which is actually a higher time frame WXY. Yeah, and that's when you're going to get everyone shorting from here to high heaven for a final breakout to the upside. Okay, so I'm just like, it's like game theory, really. I'm just kind of contemplating. It's like war games. We're just trying to see what would happen if China attacks Russia or something like that. That's all. That's all it is, really. And of course, it's stressful for all of us, because when should we long? Should we go full leverage? You know, should we be buying spot? This is looking really strong right now, by the way. Like right now, this is looking extremely strong. Look at this. Back above the weekly level. That's what I want to see. I haven't seen an adequate back test yet. You could argue this is all testing, not really. What I really want to see is the price to come down and form a wick perfectly on the weekly level. So it looks as though it's holding the price. Yeah. Yeah. All I really wanted to do was to get back above the trend line yesterday. Yeah. So once we did that, guess what I was doing? I was looking for longs. I was longing. That's all. So rather than me longing down here when there was a large amount of uncertainty and we were underneath resistance levels, whether it's this one or this one, all I was looking for was a bit of strength. That's all. And it doesn't really matter. Like, people are like thinking to themselves, well, you know, I missed the move. Well, if you caught it from there, fine, you got 4%. If you caught it from here, you got 2.5%. All right. It's no big deal. I don't think it's that much of a big deal. All right. That's that. Danger. It's all love, of course. You see a falling daily wedge. Let me have a look quickly. I'm not going to have a long stream because I have to go. I'm going to go on a picnic. We've broken it, no? That's that trend line, isn't it? From there, maybe from that top, right there, huh? Chat in the chat. Chart in the chat. Did you send me a link? You can't send the link though, can you? That's the problem. Here, let me make you a moderator. Don't abuse the power. If you have a link, just send it. Okay, that's interesting. Get rid of this volume. It's amazing how people's analysis is so subjective. I think this trend line's better here. You've got it higher up there, somewhere here. And then this lower one, you're not doing it from the wicks. From that wick there to that wick. You're doing it from these pivots that you're using, these high lows. You're targeting 78 based on a fib extension from the top to the bottom, I'm guessing. You took it to that pivot, not the bottom pivot. It's pretty much the same. Do you think that's in now? Would you say that are you thinking that this is it? This is it? Correction over? Yeah, it would be savage. But then you're going all the way down to here by Tuesday. I don't see it. I think at the very worst, we just go down here. Just take the lows here. One last push down. But who knows really? If this is if that is the bottom here, we've just put in the bottom now. $78, $79. Yeah, there's confluence there for resistance. But higher up would be better, I think, like 87, according to this. 87 and then 104. So if we do have 5 waves to go up, like 5 impulsive waves, this would be a squeeze. Whatever happens, this would be a squeeze. Has to be a squeeze. Has to be like a mega squeeze. And then I really wouldn't, if you have the first wave to the highs, probably you really need to squeeze past the highs. We have to see. We have to see what happens. This one's going to be a squeeze, this first bit. So you kind of want to squeeze all the way above the all-time high. Then you have consolidation for the longs entering, because they like to enter on support after they've seen a sign of strength. There. There. Something like that. I don't know. A big one. I think this is unrealistic because you have a lot of levels and trap liquidity. You'd have to see a mega squeeze to get through all of that with big volume to clear all of that liquidity. If you don't see that, then actually you could. The other thing that I'm thinking to myself, and this is something that people aren't considering, is you have a really poor 5, really weak 5. And so you don't have that crazy explosiveness. You just have, let's say you have a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's it. Like a weak 5. 5 waves up. Don't make another all-time high. That's the end of this. And then you end a corrective summer with a extended corrective move. A, B, C. And so you do complete your 5 waves, but it's actually a weak 5. And then you just have the whole summer of boredom, because we're just range bound effectively in this range. Just continuing this, it will look very corrective, but you did have an impulse, a final impulse, which didn't actually take out the all-time high. You have this kind of higher time frame flag potentially, but I do think this next correction, this next summer correction, should be more, either it has to be on the highs there or it should be lower down. So I don't know. I don't really know, actually, to be honest with you. It's all speculation. All right, guys, it's 112. 52k would be poetic. I actually think, I was thinking, why shouldn't we go now down to 52k? But you know, yesterday obviously the bulls showed a bit of their grit and their teeth, so they didn't want that, and that's fine. The question now is, do we reject here to go down? Do we just, if we do reject, do we just go down to take the liquidity at these lows? Or does something more brutal happen and we just have a real Monday sell-off which destroys everyone, lose the bottom of your little wedge here, and then we have the final, the big wave to take us up? So I don't know. No one can really know what's happening. Right now, we're on support. We're reclaiming support. Is that swing failure? Yes. Look at that. Swing failure. That's not bullish. It doesn't mean it's going down, but you know, Where are we above the weekly level? We're above the weekly level, so that's fine. So this is you see, this is problematic because you haven't had a squeeze here. Have shorts closed? Really minuscule liquidations. Basically went into pretty high. Not really. Slightly higher. Look, slightly higher. Immediately that was sold into. That's longs, shorts closing. You see this price going up? That was shorts closing. And this one here, that's longs closing. This one is shorts closing. This one here is some longs closing. This is new longs. So in the last 5 minutes, we've got brand new longs enter. Here it is, 1.1 million. Look at that right now. So someone has leveraged long right now at this exact price, $1.11 million. It's kind of good, huh? If you see that, you want to see that because these people are, remember, these people are market buying. You know, they're bullish to do that. It's bullish to see that happen. Now, as long as the price doesn't come underneath their entry, then they're not going to be trapped, and therefore they're not in danger of closing market. So you just, as long as the price now holds above the daily open, this is going to be quite bullish. Okay, and while we didn't squeeze up, I think now you're going to get a lot of confidence for people to start buying. I think just because we're back above support, people like to buy on support, and that's just something to bear in mind. I don't like that we've had a swing failure here, but maybe now if longs are going to start longing, then we're going to see higher prices. Maybe. Let me just quickly have a look at Slurf. I haven't looked at TRVL at all, but I don't really think there's much to say about TRVL. Slurf is looking the same. See, this is just like a flag. So it went up and then it came back. That Slurf isn't showing amazing strength. It's just showing a flag, which is a consolidation pattern. That's quite interesting. TRVL is looking quite good. Yeah. We've lost the low yesterday. I thought we would. It looked like we were going to. We lost it. So we've made a new low here. This is a lower low on the daily time frame. So we've lost that pivot. What does that mean? As long as you don't make a lower high and another lower low, nothing. It means absolutely nothing. And right now, I can see that it feels like the bearishness is ending. It feels like it. I can't say exactly when, but now that we've made a new low, I can see that the selling has somewhat reduced. It's amazing, huh? People sell until you make a new low, and then once you make a new low, they stop selling. Okay, so it doesn't look like the people selling want to take the price lower than the low that they've made. Yeah, so the question now is obviously Bitcoin. What Bitcoin does next is going to affect all of crypto. And right now, what I can see is a little bit of buying and not selling. That's what I'm seeing. A little bit of buying. You can see that. How can I tell that there's buying? Well, look. Do you see these wicks on top of these candles? Yeah, these are selling tails, but at the bottom of this range, they are showing that people are market buying. These are market buys. So they're just buying. Now people are like, wow, this is a good price. I want to fill my bag. I'm market buying, market buying, market buying, market buying. They're basically taking the liquidity. And eventually, if and when in the future the price decides to move up, there will be no liquidity and the price will go up quite fast. It'll go up quite impulsively. So we've seen this kind of price action before. I don't know if anyone was with me in the past to remember that, because it was way back in January that we experienced that kind of price action. It was here. It was in this range. Can you see all these wicks on the top of these candles? These are all market buys, market buys, market buys. So we had a prolonged sideways range with candles with wicks because people were just market buying, and we haven't seen that for a while. And now looking at the price action, I can see locally we're starting to see a little bit of that similar price action. Let's see if that continues. It's never going to be a problem if we range here for an extended period where people are buying and holding the price up. Eventually what you want is you want Bitcoin to show strength, and then you want people's confidence in altcoins to resume. We are below this pivot, so it's unfortunate, but I mean, it doesn't mean anything. If we go up and then go back down, then it will be more problematic. But you know, if now we find support somewhere here and then head up and make a high, who cares? No one really cares. You could actually be buying the low here, as the selling stops and the buying resumes. Okay, so all of these people who've been selling, maybe they're going to now start buying back. It's very possible. No one can predict the future. I think it all depends on Bitcoin. So if you start seeing Bitcoin show strength, and we are seeing a little bit of strength in Bitcoin since yesterday, and today we're seeing a little bit of strength. If that continues, if the strength continues, then altcoins are definitely going to start pumping eventually after Bitcoin slows down. And if Bitcoin starts to fall, then there's no reason to think that people will not continue selling. So right now Bitcoin is still in control. Eventually in the future, sometime in the future, no one knows when exactly, Bitcoin will be somewhere and the altcoins will pump regardless of Bitcoin, and they will just do their own thing. Okay, we're not there yet, and everyone is anticipating for that moment. And that's why when you see price drops in the tokens that you're interested in, the tokens that you love, buy some. Don't hesitate. Buy a little bit. Start taking chunks out of it and start building a position. Okay, so now that we're looking bearish, start buying. Yeah, because realistically you want to buy at the lows. You don't want to buy at the highs when the price is looking bullish. You want to buy at the lows where the price is starting to look bearish. But I'm talking about spot. Yeah, I'm not talking about trading. I'm talking about higher time frame position building. Okay, so that's kind of TRVL. I don't really have anything else to say except that nothing's changed. The project continues. We're building, you know. I look at my Twitter and I get a lot of comments on my threads that I made, which was about Dtravel. Nothing's really changed. Doesn't change overnight. Have a look at this. Dtravel posted something really interesting. Have a look at the Night protocol. It's an innovation, and I think that's really important because these innovations can change the landscape of the way businesses operate and how business is done. And the Night protocol is targeting a very important sector, the short vacation rental industry, and TRVL will underpin that as the medium for transfer of value for this market to operate. It's something very interesting. It's an innovation and they're building that. I think it's something worth having a read. And then obviously Dtravel also posted something which is really good. This one on May the 8th, the roadmap near term. Have a look at that. Airbnb import. There's a two-way import, so a dual sync with Airbnb. So it means you don't have to make a profile from scratch. It means you can just click on the button and your profile is replicated, and then you can do a two-way sync. The search, which is to do with the traveler search engine, that's already live, but it hasn't been there hasn't been like a grand opening. The rewards program, and then TRVL holdings. So all of this is being near-term roadmap. So what's this guy saying? Pepin Quanex. You already told these a few times in the last few months. I believe you will deliver them finally, but some more details would be appreciated. What about Travala? Yes, we're getting closer. What we're building is a bit more complicated than most Web3 platforms. 100% agree with that. Something you have to bear in mind is, yes, we do. We need a massive publicity campaign. Something to bear in mind is that no one really knows about Dtravel, so really now is a good time to accumulate. Yeah, you don't really want to start accumulating once everyone knows. That's the wrong time. Now is the time. No one, look, he's saying, what's happening to the publicity campaign? No one really knows. And then the other thing to bear in mind is that it is more complicated than the average crypto. You know, when you're talking about an ordinary any other project, they've got this kind of very ordinary liquidity pool, and this amount is reserved for the team, and this amount you can stake and earn a bit of interest. When you're looking at the TRVL tokenomics, it's an economy. You know, it's not complicated, but it's intricately designed to create an economy. Yeah, when you look at this is not your average. This is something very detailed, and it has to work. There's math behind it. So the person who helped design this is a math PhD, and it has to be done correctly. You can't just make shit up and hope for the best. This isn't just a kid drawing lines on a drawing and on a Venn diagram and just trying to make it look good. They've actually done sums and projections and calculations to make sure that this flow of value scales and it generates enough revenue to bring back value to the economy, you know. So eventually when Dtravel grows to a certain size, everything will feed itself. Yeah, it'll be like a machine that just feeds itself, like a perpetual energy machine. Yeah, to get to that point you need the value coming in to get to that point, but once the network comes big enough, it will feed itself. Okay, and that will come from the real world value that's coming in from the bookings. So all of the value eventually come from the real world to generate and to power this machine. This is very different to a lot of applications, and the economy is very different to a lot of ordinary bog standard economies. When I look at some of these Solana tokens, again, I've said this in the past, I think it's relatively speaking, it's child's play compared to what we're building. And if this works, then you want to be part of it. Yeah, if this works, now is the time to be part of it, and now is the time where you want to get involved. Okay, so this is something to bear in mind, and nothing's changed. I think I'm quite bullish on that. All right, this is going to be a short one. I hope you don't mind. Thanks for joining me, guys. I have to go. The sun is out and someone's waiting for me. So take care, everyone. Have a wonderful day. See ya.